Single sign-on vs multi-factor authentication, which is better? Single sign-on or MFA for your security? Your choice. Single sign-on (SSO) is a way to log into multiple services using a single set of credentials. It can be very convenient for users, but it's also useful for IT administrators because it allows them to manage all of their users' authentication needs from a central location. But, is SSO really superior to MFA? Single sign-on (SSO) is a convenient way to log into multiple applications and websites with a single user ID and password. In contrast, multi-factor authentication (MFA) requires users to provide additional verification to prove their identity. Most people are familiar with and have even set up their PCs with multi-factor authentication in Windows 11. In this article, we will compare single sign-on vs multi-factor authentication. We shall also discuss some of the most prominent solutions used in the market today. Is there a difference between MFA and 2FA? Multi-factor authentication (MFA) and two-factor authentication (2FA) are two different approaches to the same goal, adding an extra layer of security to your accounts. It's common for people to use the terms interchangeably, or even incorrectly. But there is a difference between MFA and 2FA. 2FA is short for two-factor authentication, which is a type of MFA. MFA makes it more difficult for unauthorized users to access your account by requiring a second authentication factor before they can log in. A second factor is usually something you know, like a password, but it can also be something you have, like a phone. With MFA, the second factor must be provided every time you sign in or perform any actions on your account. This means that if someone tries to log in using just their email address and password, they won't be able to do so unless they have access to your mobile device. What is the main advantage of single sign-on? 1. Ease of use. Users can log in once with their credentials and then access all other applications that are part of the SSO system. This makes it easier for them because they don't have to remember multiple sets of login credentials and passwords for different applications. Also, when doing so, they will not have to deal with additional password prompts or any other issues that may occur due to using different passwords for each application or service. The administrator can also benefit from a unified user interface when managing these accounts because they all share the same login page and interface, making it easier for them. 2. More secure authentication. SSO can greatly reduce security risks by reducing the number of credentials that attackers would need in order to gain unauthorized access. By eliminating the need for each application to maintain its own authentication system, you can reduce the risk of sharing credentials across multiple systems or having your user database compromised by hackers who steal information from one site and use it on another site as well. 3. Reduces costs. Single sign-on (SSO) is a technology that allows users to authenticate themselves to multiple applications with a single set of credentials. It reduces IT support costs because there is only one password standard that needs to be enforced across all applications. With SSO, users can access multiple applications without having to log in for each one separately. IT can also enforce stronger password policies since they do not have to manage multiple sets of rules for various applications or databases. 4. Centralized management. Because there are fewer components to manage, it's easier to keep up with updates as they become available. A single set of user profile information can be used by all applications. This means that IT doesn't have to create new accounts for users in individual systems. Being AI vs Bard AI, one is way better at its job. 5. Increase productivity. SSO is essential for some business functions, such as human resources (HR) applications, that require employees to access multiple systems throughout the day. With single sign-on, users don't have to enter their username and password before logging into each application separately. AD Self-Service Plus. AD Audit Plus. Do I need MFA if I have SSO? If you have SSO, then you don't need MFA. This is because when you log in, you are already authenticated before you enter your password. However, the big question is whether SSO is more secure than MFA. While SSO may be ideal in a number of situations, it is not perfect. In some cases, it's not a good fit as it raises some security concerns with SSO. For example, if someone breaks into a company server, they can get all the user credentials. Once they access all the different servers, they become compromised. If you want to ensure that no one can get access to your account if they steal your password, then you should enable multi-factor authentication (MFA). Further, some reliable password managers will also come in handy if you don't want to burden yourself with remembering all your passwords. We have also outlined best practices for your Active Directory account to help you set it up if you're a beginner. If you've experienced either SSO or MFA on your AD, we'd love to hear your input and which one you prefer between the two. Share your thoughts in the comments section below.